I had hoped it was going to be sunny today, because this is England and that doesn't happen very often, but looks like I've been proved wrong. The sun is out. Oh no. So there's several different variations of shots you can achieve. Today I'm going to go through my favourite 4, and when put together in an epic montage, they look a little something like this. You're going to need some tools to make this work, so today's checklist is an extended selfie stick with the 1/4 inch screw hole at the bottom. The reason why I say that is because, well, you are going to need to screw the stick to the mount, which I'm going to come on to in a minute, but one of Insta360's extended stick that works as like a tripod monopod thing as well that I've got doesn't have a 1/4 inch screw at the bottom. So if you've got that one, you're going to need to get a extended selfie stick that has the screw at the bottom. And then talking of mount, you are going to need a car suction cup mount. Now, if there's one thing you take away from today's video, is do not go for the cheapest car suction mount you find, because this device is going to be holding your camera to the car. So you need it to be strong, you need it to be able to take the weight, you need to be able to drive with it. If you just go for the cheapest one, then chances are the camera's going to fall off and smash. Now, I'm not saying that there's not good cheap ones out there, but all I'm saying is do your research, because what you don't want to do is attach it to the car and then you start moving and it falls off and smashes, because it's just not going to be good. Now, the one I'm using today is a small rig one. It's not sponsored, I bought it myself. I'll leave a link in the description below. I have had no problems with this one. It holds up really well in windy weather with the weight of the camera and the stick on it. I even took it to Iceland in extreme weather, and it held up really well there. Insta360 do have their own one on their website as well. I haven't personally used it. I've seen reviews that it is good. But yeah, all I'm saying is do your research. Don't just go for the cheapest. You do need to invest in a decent car suction mount, because this is going to be holding your camera to the car, so you need to make sure it doesn't fall off. Of course, you're going to need your camera, and then for one of the shots, you're going to need a harness chest mount. Yeah, that's what it's called, harness chest mount. The first shot we're going to do is, I don't even know what you would call it. Think of GTA, think of a drone following the car from behind. So it only makes sense to call it the follow shot. For this, you're going to need to mount the suction cup mount to the rear window, attach the camera to the selfie stick, and screw the stick onto the mount. A couple of tips for this shot: if you want a more wider shot of the car, then extend the selfie stick further out. This might be helpful if you're planning on adding black bars for that cinematic look for your final video. Don't use it when the weather is really bad, and check the maximum recommended speed you can do with whatever suction mount you'll be using. In my case today, it is 50 miles per hour. The reason why I say that is because you don't want to be traveling faster than the mount can handle, because it's just going to fall off. And to help, you can connect the camera to your phone, and using the Insta360 app, start or stop recording and see how the framing looks from inside of your car, so you don't have to keep going out and pressing the buttons on there. Just connect it directly to your phone so you can control everything from the driving seat, and also see how it's going to look when it's reframed, because you can move it around on the screen. Oh, and by the way, the camera settings that I'm going to be using on my X3 for all of these shots today are 360 mode, 5.7K, 30 frames per second in auto mode. And then once you're all set up, the only thing left to do is drive. And then once you finish driving for however long it is you want to drive for, and you've reframed the video, it will look a little something like this. The next shot we're going to do is, I don't really, again, know what we would call it. So let's call it the... stick the camera out of the window shot. For this, all you're going to need is the camera attached to the selfie stick. And a few tips for this shot is, whatever you do, do not hold it out too far that it bashes into anything like oncoming cars or lampposts or people or whatever. But also hold it in different positions. So hold it at the front, towards the front of the car, and then hold it in the middle of the window, so you kind of get in those different points of view. But just do not hold it so far out that it bashes into something, because yeah, let's just say I had a couple of near misses one time with a oncoming car, and it wasn't good. So yeah, just don't go too crazy with it. And then once you finish driving around, getting weird looks from people, looking like a weirdo, holding a stick out the side of the car, people are looking at me now. Close the window. You just gotta pretend no one's there when you're doing stuff, or just won't get it done if, yeah. But anyway, once the camera is back in the safety of the car, reframe the video and it will look a little something like this. Next up, what should we call this one? Stick your camera to pretty much anywhere on your car shot. For this, you can literally stick it anywhere you want, directly to the mount, with or without the selfie stick. You can put it low down by the wheels to create a low shot, or in the middle of the bonnet to create a floating camera shot. A few tips for this shot: most mounts stick better on windows rather than the actual bodywork, so make sure if you're sticking it to the bodywork, it is held on firmly. Be careful you don't damage your bodywork when taking it on or off. Some of these suction cup mounts are very strong, and there's been a couple of times where I've put it on the door and I've gone to remove it, and the door panel, like the metal, was like nearly moved a little bit because it was held on so firmly. So you want it held on firmly, you just got to be careful when removing it, because if you don't, then it could like pop out your, is that the right word, like pop out your bodywork? Yeah, you don't want that. You just don't want that. So just be careful when removing it from any parts of the car that aren't a window. I mean, be careful when it's a window, but the bodywork is obviously able to pop out, whereas I don't think windows can pop out. But yeah, once you're ready, hit record, start to drive, and when you reframe the video, the results will look a little something like this. And now for the last shot. This is an easy one to name, the POV shot. For this, all you're gonna need is the camera and the harness chest mount. Maybe it isn't even called a harness, maybe just chest mount. This is the most annoyingest thing to put on. I don't know if anyone can relate, or maybe it's just me being a bit scatty, but this is the most annoyingest thing to put on. It takes me longer and longer each time. I'm not even going to try and put it on sitting down because I can barely do it standing up. But yeah, you need one of these. Couple of tips for this shot: if you've got the preview window of the Insta360 app on your phone, which is on your phone holder next to the steering wheel, just turn the screen off, because if you can see the preview of what you're trying to record on your phone from the camera, it will just spoil like the illusion and just look a bit crap. So just turn the screen off. And when you're driving, make sure you have both hands in sight, whether that's both of them on the steering wheel or one on the steering wheel and like one on your leg. because if you can't see both hands, then it almost just looks like you're holding the camera with one hand, and you want it to look like it's like mounted and floated, like a floating camera. So yeah, just make sure both hands are visible, whether that's on the steering wheel or one on your lap or whatever. And yeah, once you've managed to hopefully do it quicker than me and put your harness on, mount your camera to the harness, hit record, drive for however long it is you want to drive, reframe the video, and it will look a little something like this. And that is that. If you're not familiar with reframing your Insta360 videos, by the way, do not stress. I've got you covered. I've got a couple of different videos on my channel going through how to reframe your videos using the desktop version of the app and the mobile version of the app, so you can do it on your phone as well. So just go onto my channel and check them out. And there you go. Epic car shots to make your videos look, well, epic. That's so cheesy. Oh no, not again.